Welcome to the Briar Patch broadcast. My name is Isaiah, and I'm here with Sydney. Though we will look into the school year, we want to look back to see what's happened so far.
We started out with a new superintendent, we celebrated the remodel of the auditorium, the band started competing, and we added some new clubs, and had a successful homecoming week of fun and football.
We want to start with a few words from our new superintendent, Mr. Lively.
What made you want to become a superintendent of the school system?
I think when you start thinking about working, you have the biggest impact on students, and working, you make the biggest difference. I think the superintendent's position is one of those that definitely you're controlling a lot of the decisions that are made, or at least have input into those decisions. And I've always wanted to move up from teaching, which is directly involved with students, into the principals, the school building level principal, which was wonderful. You still got to build those relationships with students and things along those lines. And then I got to thinking about what position will have the biggest impact as a whole on a district, and where can you make the decisions that will directly impact those students, and superintendent's one of those positions. And I felt like it was just something that I wanted to try, and got into for 2 years at Jackson Independent School, and really enjoyed it there. And first couple of months here at Somerset Independent have been wonderful.
So what do you plan on changing as this new superintendent?
Well, I think coming into this situation, which is a wonderful situation, it's important that any good leader listens and learns. At this point, I have some ideas in mind to the directions I would like for the district to go. We want to make sure that our culture, that we have a positive culture. We've got a small school system. We want to maintain that and build upon that, to where you guys as students and parents feel individualized, and you feel like you're getting that individualized attention that we can provide as a smaller independent district.
So how long have you been superintendent so far?
This is my third year as superintendent. Of course, my first year here at Somerset Independent Schools, and as I've mentioned before, spent 2 years at Jackson Independent Schools. Prior to that, I was a high school principal for 2 years, an elementary principal for 3 years, and spent several years in the classroom as a teacher and basketball coach. So.
How did you like Jackson?
Jackson was great. It was very similar to Somerset Independent. It's got that family-oriented feel. You get the individualized attention. Just a wonderful environment, and that's what's been so warm and welcoming about coming to Somerset. It's very similar in that, a lot of pride and a lot of tradition. You run into people on the street and they say, hey, I was a jumper. I graduated in 1982. You meet people everywhere that are somehow tied to Somerset, and that's a wonderful thing about independent school districts. You get that pride and that tradition, and the graduates, they may leave and they move on to bigger and better things, but that institution still has a special place in their heart, and that's very true about Somerset as well.
The remodeled auditorium was introduced to the community with a celebration of music. We asked Ms. Massey about the impact of the remodel and the music programs.
How well do you think the choir did?
I was very pleased with how the choir performed. Our large choir, the general choir, about half of them had never performed for anybody before, so they looked to be really comfortable, and we had a lot of good feedback from the community that the performance went great.
Did anything go wrong in the entire performance?
No. The only thing that I think we ran into trouble with a little bit was just moving some microphones and things around, but besides that, everything went really well.
How well do you think the auditorium turned out?
Every time I walked into the auditorium this summer and saw that something new had been added, I go, because it would take my breath away. I mean, it's such a transformation. It looks completely different, and everybody who's seen it has said that it looks like a completely different place. So we're all very pleased with the outcome.
The marching band started competing this year. This takes time and dedication. We asked Ms. Lennox to tell us a little about it.
What do you expect from your students in marching band?
I expect for them to show up and do their absolute best at every rehearsal and every performance, and to be great, upstanding citizens of the school, and to lead by example. It would be great if we make semifinals this year. We didn't, but it would have been great if we did. But we did really, really well at regionals, so. Next year's goal is definitely, again, going to be to make it into semifinals. We found some things that the judges said about visual performance that we are going to definitely improve on for next year, and hopefully that'll be the extra little oomph that we need to get into semifinals next year for KMEA. I think it's really fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sweat, and sometimes we have tears and things like that. We get hurt sometimes with flagpoles or whatever. Sydney knows all about that, but it is a lot of work, but it's so rewarding for the kids at the very end.
Several new clubs were introduced this year. Here are a couple we highlighted for you. First is Project Purple.
Project Purple is a new club at Somerset High School. Coach Aiken, Miss Johnson from the Youth Service Center, and Officer Hostlaw are the sponsors of Project Purple. Here is some information about what will be done and what the purpose of Project Purple is.
So how do you feel about Project Purple?
I feel good about it. We had a great turnout, upwards of 40 kids, and it's a great new club, and I think there's a lot of excitement around it. We've got some kids in there that are really wanting to get out and spread the word and help build the club and help serve its purpose. I would say Miss Johnson really kicked it off because she had Club Unite. And so she was really wanting to do something around drug awareness. Miss Baker and myself kind of got the idea of Project Purple through a video that we show our health classes. We started Project Purple around raising awareness and getting the message out about substance abuse. So they kind of started, and then Officer Holzblatt came in. He had a lot of really good ideas, and it's really kind of helped build it.
I'm very excited to kick off Project Purple here at Somerset High School. I think it will be very educational for our students to learn about the negative effects of drugs and drug abuse and how that can affect their life.
If you had to choose one area to go over with the children of the school, what would you choose?
I think I would like to focus on negative choices and how making negative and bad choices in your life can affect the rest of your life or the outcome of your life.
Another new club is knitting and crocheting with Miss Callahan.
2015-2016 school year, we have added a few new clubs at Somerset High School, Project Purple and Knitting and Crocheting. Here's a word from Miss Callahan about her new club.
What made you want to start this club?
Well, I have a lot of students who keep asking me to make them things, and I said, I won't make it for you, but I will teach you how to knit or crochet, and they said, okay, so I started the club.
What types of activities do you do in this club?
Well, right now we are learning to do double crochet. So our hope is that by Christmas, everybody will be good enough at crocheting to make a baby hat for a newborn baby, and we're going to deliver them to the hospital. And then next semester, we want to make adult hats, or at least kids' hats, and deliver them to the cancer patients, yes.
The annual football homecoming week brought students together in a celebration of tradition. Students and teachers dressed up and built floats.
And voted for homecoming queen and played games and participated in the parade to energize the team as they prepared for the game against Rockcastle County.
Homecoming week is an exciting week at Somerset. It's especially big for the football team considering they always have a game on the following Friday. With this homecoming game, the Jumpers played Rockcastle and stomped the Rockets in the game, and icing to the cake to top off a successful week of preparing for the game with the help of students and staff to pump up the game. We also elected a homecoming queen, Sarah Eastup. We had a great start to the school year, and we look forward to sharing more events and activities as the year continues. We are distinguished. Go Jumpers!